Hello and welcome to another Small Gold live stream. Tonight is Monday, December 17th, 2018, and tonight's topic: Germany continues to sell off its gold. We're going to get into that story tonight. How much is Germany selling? How long have they been selling? Why are they selling? We'll get into all of that, but first let's get into the price of gold. The price of gold today, the price of silver today, the stock market. Let's start with the stock market. Another bad day in the stock market, as the stock market, the Dow Jones, fell another 507 points, or down 2.11%. That takes it into the 23,000s. 23,592 were the close. Was the close. Is the close. NASDAQ down another 2.27%, or 156.93 points, down to 66,753. The S&P 500 down 2%, down 54 points to 2,545. Dollar index fell also from about 942 down to about, 97.42 to about 97.12. Gold, however, our friend gold, did manage to head higher today. Somewhat capped, but it did go higher, a little bit higher, up about $8, about $7.50, up 0.6%, and closed at around 12.45, and is currently up about to about 12.46. Silver. What happened to silver today? Similar action. It did a little bit better than gold. About the same, though. Went up 11 cents, up 0.73%. Closed at $14.65. And currently it's down about a penny from that. So it's about $14.64. And what about the unsustainable gold-silver ratio? Let's see where that is. Well, it didn't really move today. 1 point gold was up a bit higher, and so the gold-silver ratio was up to about 85.37. And it closed at about 85.05, which is about where it sits currently. So as the stock market now takes 3 steps back and 1 step forward, it seems, gold and silver are doing a little better than treading water. The dollar also treading water. But basically all asset classes are down, except here comes crypto. Bitcoin up about 10% today to $35.20. Ethereum up about 12% to $95. Litecoin top $30 at one point and is up about 14% right now at 29.25. Bcash also managed to join the rally and is at about $89, up 12.87%. But given that Bcash's rise was not as strong as Litecoin's today, it still now remains behind Litecoin, and they call that the flappening, the reversal of market cap value. Now, in all other metrics, transactions, average transaction size, average miner reward, Litecoin was already ahead. It just lagged in market cap, and it still lags in price, but that's just a function of the number of Litecoin available. Also in the crypto space, Mike Maloney, he's now the new acting chief of staff for Trump, and the crypto fans are touting the fact that he is a crypto fan himself. He has supported blockchain, Bitcoin, and so on, and some might think that might even help tilt the ETF over at the SEC, although he's not in charge of that. He was, though. He does come from the administration. He was part of the Office of Budget and Management, and he's also been part of the Consumer Protection. So those are some of the issues. Bitcoin and the SEC, they touch on things of budget and finance and consumer protection. More symbolic than actual of any real value. Also today I was on the Daily Coin. That interview, I think there's going to be 2 YouTubes up with Rory from the Daily Coin. We discussed Russia, China, gold, silver, and social media. So Seemed to have been a good conversation. Those should be up tonight or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. Also, Donald Trump today. Let's see, what was he up to? He's always on a tweet storm. Well, he was on a tweet storm on his own, and he was taking a swipe at none other than Jerome Powell. Yep, Jerome Powell's issues. He has been against the fact that the Fed has basically raised rates 7 times since he's been in office, or maybe 8 times, and they're looking to do it again on Wednesday. And Trumpy is saying it's incredible that with a very strong dollar and virtually no inflation, the outside world is blowing up around us. Paris is burning and China is way down. The Fed is even considering yet another interest rate hike. Take the victory. Now, James Comey made another trip to, it's amazing, as the Republicans are leaving, they finally get this guy to come to Congress. And as he was there last time, he essentially didn't say much other than he didn't remember, he wasn't sure. But since then, he's made some statements about the Flynn, the Flynn, I don't even know what to call it. There was no investigation. He just sent 2 guys over to talk to General Flynn, and they had the transcript, so they knew what he said. So I'm not sure why they went over there, other than to read him the transcript and see if he disagreed with it so they can catch him lying. Other than that, I don't know why he ordered them to go over there. But he went to Congress again today, and he came out, and he was furious again. And here he is. He's yelling and screaming at the press, saying that it's not my fault that the FBI reputation is damaged. We have to blame the Trumpster for that. And then he came out and he also refused to answer questions whether he actually leaked classified information. There he is with his little smirk about how he's not going to talk about something like that. He's only going to talk about self-serving stuff that he feels like talking about, it seems. All right, now, before we get into our top story of the night, we had a world premiere earlier today because many of you know that nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. And we launched a new product because you need to be prepared. So, I will replay for you the announcement that we made earlier today. And I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to be convinced that nothing can stop what's coming and that you have to get prepared. Let's have a listen.
Game over.
Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing. Protect yourself with mugs. Protect yourself with glass. Game over. Game changer.
Game over.
Small gold glass. Prepare yourself with glass.
Prepare yourself with glass. People have been using glass for thousands of years. Now we know that mugs and ceramics are a superior form of drinking vessel. We have touted many reasons for mugs on this channel, but often overlooked are mugs' cheaper cousin, glass. Yes, glass in a pinch is very important to have. In a sense, it is the silver to the mug's gold. People have often overlooked glass, but glass is very, very, very important. It's cheap, it's useful, and again, it's been around for thousands of years, and you cannot find yourself with a shortage of glass. Now, if you break a glass, not as big of a deal. They're not as expensive. Very important. Glass can be recycled. So please take a look at glass, small gold glass, now out with a new small gold glass product. You can put your favorite iced beverage in it. You can even put your favorite adult malt hopped beverage in it as well. So please check out the new small gold glass. You don't want to be without glass. There's some instances where glass, maybe you're going on a short trip, you don't want to bring your prized mug, bring your small gold glass, or sometimes it just tastes better to drink out of a glass. Not your coffee, sometimes your adult beverage. There's the link. So check out the small gold glass and you can order yours today. Now let's get into the topic of the evening while you're ordering your small gold glasses and small gold mugs. Germany continues to sell off its gold. Uh-oh.
We got a moron here.
Presenting the distinguished international news commentator and foreign correspondent,
Small gold.
This has been an extraordinary week in world affairs.
No, I told Hillary Clinton that that's moronic.
Now, Germany selling off her gold. That sounds moronic to me. Remember, Germany spent high profile the last few years complaining and whinging that they had gold at the Fed and they couldn't get it back, and there was all types of issues with the Fed doesn't have the gold. Germany is smart. They like gold. They know what's coming. They're going to get their gold back, and it set off a repatriation craze. I do see people questioning what the gold, the mug to glass ratio is. We'll have that up in a few days. We're going to go through the entire issue of what your portfolio should look like when you start stacking mugs. How much glass should you have? How many mugs should you have? I think a lot of people have made mistakes in the past with not getting the ratio right, maybe with gold and silver. So we'll talk about it, but I think you should at least start with one glass, one small gold glass. And I would suggest another mug is probably at this stage of the game. A 2-to-1 ratio in your personal portfolio is probably a good idea. We'll talk about what an ideal ratio is in a later episode. Now, Germany, as we mentioned, this is not good. We must have the gold, and we don't have the gold in the house. We must bring it to home. Okay, they weren't getting it. Finally, they got it. And I covered that story. I'll put them in the show notes. They kept asking, and then they kept getting, and they finally made an announcement that all is good, all is klar, Kommissar, that we have our gold back. Not all of it, what they wanted to get back. What they wanted to do was take their holdings from 70% overseas to a 50-50 ratio. They still want to have some scattered around, but they realize that they don't need to have gold in France. There's no diversification. They're both on the euro. No reason to have gold at the Banque of France. So they took that gold back. They wanted to get some back from England, and they wanted to get a lot of it back from the United States because they didn't want it over there. So Jens Weidmann, he is the president of the Deutsches Bundesbank. He once said, indeed, the fact that central banks can create money out of thin air, so to speak, is something that many observers are likely to find surprising and strange, perhaps mystical and dreamlike too, even nightmarish. Yeah, well, then why, in God's good name, would Germany be selling off its gold after a statement by the president of the Deutsches Bundesbank? Why would he say such a thing? Well, how much gold have they gotten rid of? Now, this story, I actually did a story on this for Zero Hedge a while back. Let me show you that. And I think I called it, Who Knew? Germany ditching the golden. Why must we ditching the golden? Well, we must have taken the look. Now we see here that Germany, who knew? German central bank has been selling gold for more than a decade. Quite more than a decade. Yes, indeed, quite more than a decade. Deutsches Bundesbank, gold reserves shrink 45 tons over past 10 years. German central bank holdings fall from 3,420.679 Zen, 3,420.6 tons at the end of Q2, now to 3,375 tons, 0.6. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I see the comments. Well, it's 45 tons. Is that big of a deal? Well, we get all excited that Kazakhstan added 40 tons. We get excited in a given month when Russia imports 10 tons or adds 10, 20 tons in a given year. If they get this record year and they add 200 tons. But this is only over the decade. They've lost 100 tons since the year 2000. So this is a slow and steady draining of the golden reserves. So you could say it's only 100 tons. 100 tons is a lot of gold. It's not a minor amount of gold. In fact, it's 3% of their overall gold reserves. So why would they be getting rid of 100 tons? Remember, this is only 45 tons over the past 10 years. And it does beg the question. Now you can minimize it. It's interesting, but when Poland added 9 tons of gold, there was thousands of stories. Poland's adding gold. They know what's coming. Or when Hungary added 18 tons. Oh my goodness. 18 tons of gold. Game over. Game changer. Poland stacking. Hungary stacking. Central banks are buying gold. That is all you need to know. Well, they added less gold than Germany's been dumping overboard for the last 10 years. So again, I like the fact that people are focused on the 45 tons in 10 years and the 100 tons in 18 years. However, it does highlight these are not big numbers, but they're going in the other direction. So you see when they go in the other direction, oh, it's nothing. It's just 100 tons of gold. But if Poland adds a few tons, or Hungary adds a few tons, or Turkey adds a few tons, it's game over. Gold's game changer. Central banks are buying gold. That is all you need to know. Yes, you need to know these things. But again, as someone pointed out in the comments, who was that brilliant person? It is not a big deal in the grand scheme of things, but it's still a question. Why is Germany selling gold, as Andrew points out? Okay, well, let's take a look. So again, it's 100 tons since 2000 and 45 over the last 10 years. So they look like they jettison 3 to 4 to 5 tons a year, year in and year out, and I have been tracking that. Again, the question is, why? Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let me just put that up there for you. Instead of looking at Tyler Durden, I think you're better off looking at Be Prepared, food, water, ammo, gold, silver, Bitcoin, Litecoin, mugs, and now glass. Okay. Well, the answer is simple. But it's still not satisfactory to me. In the annual reports, the Deutsche Bank notes, this is how they explain it, and they put a similar note in each year. As part of its management of gold reserves, the Bundesbank has since 2002 been selling small amounts of gold each year to the Federal Office for Central Services and unsettled property issues to mint gold coins. In 2012, it sold 5 tons of gold for the minting of the 100 gold coin UNESCO World Heritage Aachen Cathedral. Okay, so what they've been doing, and then in 2011, they got rid of 4.7 tons for the purpose of minting the 100 gold coin and the 20 gold coin, the UNESCO World Heritage Aachen Cathedral, and the 20 gold coin Euro German Forest Spruce. Okay, so they sell gold to the Federal Office for Central Services to issue gold coins. Now you would say, can't the Central Services or the German Mint find other places to buy gold? They have to take it from the country's reserves. You would think, with all this complaining they're doing about making sure the gold is secure, that they would keep it at the central bank and they wouldn't slowly bleed out this gold. Again, it's not a big deal, but it's no bigger of a deal that they're, quote, selling gold than when you hear central banks are buying gold. That is all I need to know. Well, you can say the German Bundesbank has been selling gold. That is all I need to know. So now I am selling gold too. It's just the flip side of the same story. These are insignificant amounts. And actually, they're more significant than what's being bought by some of these game changers that we've heard about from Poland and Hungary and India. all of them combined, I should have put the chart together. If you take Poland, Hungary, India's recent gold purchases were just one-offs. They're still far less than this steady dribble that Germany is involved in. All right, let's see if there's anything else on this story I wish to relay, but I think that's about it. I'll give you the show notes with the links to the German Bundesbank annual reports. You could look at them yourself. Just something I discovered poking around. When I come up with stuff like this, I report it, and this kind of stuff that Zero Heads loves. So there we are. Okay, let's take a look now to what all of our small gold game changers are saying. Andrew is the first. I think Andrew and George were here like 2 hours in advance. That's quite good. Now, it's interesting. You don't have to line up for the show, but it's interesting. Felt like they wanted to be in first, and then Charles showed up as well quite early. And we've got a nice crowd here tonight. So let's see what you guys think of this German gold selling game changers that we have. Bendrix was third. Aquaculture is here. Why are they selling gold? Okay, well, we know now why. They are selling their gold because they just have an arrangement. They call it part of the gold management. Part of the gold management is locking it up and leaving it there. I didn't know it was like, oh, we mustn't manage the golden. We mustn't sell it. Every year we must sell 4 tons of gold. That's good management. Good management. Sell is a gold every year. All right, let's see. Blowing up everything. Debt denominated in US dollar. Pablo Pina. Hola, amigo. ¿Qué tal? 10-year US bond. Maybe Germany is buying up, he's selling gold. Yes, that's what's going on, I think. All right, aquaculture. Maybe if they did, was it voluntary? I don't know. Maybe it had to do with Deutsche Bank. No, you guys are really thinking about this, Pablo. That's good. All right. Can we get a shot glass for an end game scenario? Yeah, I can make you a shot glass if you're going to buy them. De La Ville added some glass to her portfolio today. Pablo Pina says glass is good for piña coladas. Excelente. All right, aquaculture. Aha. Glass futures, wind, moon. Yes, glass is going to be the next thing traded on the futures. By the way, a brief history of ceramics. Ceramics and glass have been used, at least ceramics have, longer than gold. At least longer than gold's monetary use. Pottery appeared in China in 18,000 BC. Ceramic figurines were used across the world at 28,000 BC. At ceramic pottery and mugs from 18,000 to 14,000 BC. There's actually a site, the American Ceramic Society. I'm now going to become a member because there's so much ceramics being used in the production of small gold mugs. Sharp tools made from natural glass appear in 7,000 BC. So you see, mugs came first and glass came next. Now, glass today is cheaper than mugs, but I believe for a while, glass was a little more elegant and was considered more expensive, probably. But yes, glass and ceramics. Those are your two most important things you can have in any crisis and in everyday life. Small gold mugs and small gold glass. Now, what else have we got in the comments section? What other European accents can I do? I've done Spanish. I've done German. And maybe I could do a little bit of Italian. Let's see. Saw an SGT report, a reliable source. That palladium lease costs almost 30%. Know anything about this? No, I do not. Frosted, Mint Mark, what is the glass to mug ratio? Andrew says the ratio, it doesn't matter. It's the mug to Stein ratio. So everybody has their own, or the glass to crypto ratio. Aquaculture says do a Hitler rant. Yeah, I should do one day. He doesn't really have the same German accent that I did. He's got a... No, we'll do it when I do it. And he asks, is 45 tons really that big of a deal? Now that's the small gold game changer mentality. You see news. I should have said, Germany is dumping gold hand over fist. Why? Germany knows what's coming. Germany is reallocating its portfolio Maybe they're buying silver with the proceeds. Yes, in the grand scheme of things, the small gold game changers understand it's probably not a big deal. But Pablo Pena speculates. Deutsche is selling gold to buy small gold glass for beer Oktoberfest. Now that is smart. Germans are smart. They like glass. Germans have mugs. They are smart. That is all you need to know. Andrew says 45 tons out of 3,400 over 10 years, though. Yep. Need to have a small gold dog drinking bowl, says De La Ville. Well, let's see if we can get... Let me get a list here. If you guys want the dog bowls, I have a nice dog jacket that you can put on a small gold dog jacket. Want to see that one? And they come in all different sizes. If you got a little pooch or a big pooch. But let me show you the big one while we're going through the comments here, because they are quite interesting. I mean, I don't know if... I don't have one for my dog. I do have all the mugs. But, you know, it's a good conversation piece. If you want to have conversations with people about what your dog is wearing, then I suppose it's not a bad thing to have. Again, I don't have one, so I'm not eating my own or wearing my own dog shirts. I guess that's the expression, not eating my own dog food. But let me show you what they look like. They're very nice looking. I mean, especially if you got a cute dog. And they even make a dog that, you know, makes the dog look even cuter. But let me show you what we got here in the dog. And the other thing that's a good thing to have are the bottle openers. The small gold bottle openers. I don't think anyone's bought those. I'm very surprised because they're magnets and they stick onto your fridge. And then you're never without... There's a poodle. Let me get the one with the golden retriever. Everyone likes that. There you go. There's who's your buddy is what you got to say when you see this thing. There you go. He's got his small gold. I got to copy this for you. But you'll see it in just a minute on your screen. It's a fine animal here. He is a golden retriever, and he's well equipped with a small gold jacket set for the winter. Although most dogs don't really need the jackets. I think it's a bit of pampering. I mean, unless it's really, really cold. But this dog doesn't look that cold. He looks like he's just, he's a dog model. I'm sure his owner's picking up big coin for this photo shoot here. Well, let me show you. And then I got some pictures of the frosted mugs. You guys don't understand how good looking those mugs are. And I did exactly what I said you should do. Well, there's your dog. Now, there's Sparky. That's what I call him. And he's got his small gold dog jacket on. I don't like the way his neck is fluffed up there. It looks like they didn't put the jacket on correctly. But you can put your dog jacket on the right way. And there he is. But I want to show you the frosted mug. Well, let me show you the two together. The frosted mug with the Stein. It is a little smaller, 16 ounces versus the 22 ounces, but you can double frost them. So it already is frosted, but if you put it in the freezer with a little water on it, you get that extra frost. So when you go to scrape off the frost, it's still frosted behind you. It's quite an interesting look, and you can kind of get a better look at it here than the one at the store. And I think that's a fine product, although I still think the Stein has it beaten looks. But they're both very hefty. They have a nice heft to them when you have them in your hand. They're real mugs, real wealth. Measure your wealth in mugs. And here's just a picture of the mug on its own. Again, a very attractive looking mug. You can see it better when it's gotten the beer in it. So, all right, let's get back to your comments. So, if I can get a dog drinking bowl and shot glasses. I think I can get shot glasses. Now, I can get you these big soup bowls, and we use them for the dog. So maybe we can get you, if you want a soup bowl, De La Ville, we could accommodate their small gold dog bowl. All right. Buying Bitcoin, says Ann. Well, everything was up today. And again, is this a relief rally or a belief rally? We're not sure which one it is. All right. What percentages are they adding, though? Andrew asked. None. These are net numbers, Andrew. Oh, Poland? Well, they don't have much to begin with, and they're not adding. They added one shot. So it's another good question that when they add a big amount for them, it's a big amount. Like, so for example, Kazakhstan's been adding 35, 40, 45 tons each year, and now, they have 380 tons, and they've been adding for a while, so it's a big deal for them. But again, just because it's a big deal for a country doesn't mean it's big, as someone pointed out, in the, quote, grand scheme of things. So, for example, if I got 2 tons of gold, that would be the biggest deal ever. But it wouldn't mean anything to the world. It would only mean something to me. So, again, you have to look at everything in context, and as someone said, in the grand scheme of things. Hey, all they do is bubble. I'm on to them. I want to be in the right bubble this time. My theory, may be wrong, but I do think that Wall Street was looking on as enviously as they could, furious in 2017. They had none of the trading volume. They didn't get any of the ICO money. They didn't have any of their clients into these cryptocurrencies. I think they introduced the futures to bring it back down so they can go on and do a professional style Wall Street pump. I think that's what 2019 is going to be. I already see Bakkt coming out talking about other companies are interested in joining Starbucks. Yeah, okay. Like, you didn't know that last year. It just seems to me that that's what they're doing. I've seen the amount of money that's come into the space. Fidelity, TD Ameritrade. They're not pumping any particular cryptocurrency. They're pumping the concept of platforms. Now, you know this. You don't launch a platform and have everybody lose money on it. That's not going to work. So they have every incentive. It's just like when they do IPOs. There's a thing called market stabilization transaction. I used to work on this. Company would come out and you get the SEC to declare the registration statement effective. You can't say that the SEC approves it. That's actually illegal to say that. You have to say that they reviewed it and they're not approving or disproving the security. They're just allowing it to go forward because they think it has the necessary disclosures to make it not misleading. But in any event, then what the bankers do, and it's totally illegal, for a period of time they can do market stabilizing transactions, which means they can buy and sell in the shares solely for the purpose of stabilizing the issuance. Well, I can see them doing the same thing. The platforms come out. Remember, these platforms are going to have to go out, maybe they're doing it now, and buy, or maybe they've already done it, who knows, and buy up a bunch of Bitcoin and Litecoin for their ETFs or for their trading platforms in order to deliver them. Remember that New York Stock Exchange is going to have deliverable physically, I call it physically delivered Bitcoin futures, which is unlike the CME and the CBOE and I forgot the name of the first one that came out. They were cash settled. They were cash settled. They weren't physically delivered. All right, the crypto and the new bubble. Buy some BTC, says Andrew. XRP and vet not fin advice. Yep. I think maybe crypto, not sure. Bitcoin will pump. Love that accent. Wonder what accent that was. No way it just dies right here. I don't think so either. I think they want this bubble. That's my view. Just by the amount of money that's gone in. Goldman Sachs has investments in Circle and Poloniex. They've got investments, all these in stable coins. Why do they invest in a stable coin? Because they know that the platforms need stable coins, so they don't have to convert into fiat. So you can make the transfers easier. Coinbase came out with that today, where you can trade the pairs and exchange one coin for the other without changing into fiat. They're actually setting up a crypto system. They're going to lock a lot of the cryptos into ETFs. That's just my view. Again, not investment advice. It's just generic overall view of what I see happening in the market. Doesn't mean I approve what they're doing. Doesn't mean I'm endorsing what they're doing. I'm just saying they are doing it. They are looking at it and they're spending money on it. All right. Let's see. Prepping my 6-shooter. When pump. All right. Well, we still got more here. Who did the Germans sell? Whoa. Okay. It would be a diversion from Bitcoin's history of 3-year bear. Yeah, I mean, it probably is not going to go up 28,000% either. So there really is no history of Bitcoin other than it's gone up and it's gone down and then it's waited for a while and it went up and it went down and it waited for a while. But totally different group of people investing. As I said, none of this is the first, probably the first huge bubble that started with retail and now Wall Street wants in on it. Most bubbles start with the institutions and then the last person holding the bag is retail. In this case, it's all been retail pumpers and retail bag holders. Retail will always be the bag holder, but at least this time I think Wall Street wants to pump its own bubble and sell it off to the bag holders, which would be the retail peoples. All right. Glass-Steagall. I would buy a small gold shot glass. All right, I'll get those going. You guys want shots? All right. Do the French accent. Why would I do a French accent? My monkey has not broken the law. Okay, real talk. How much would you weight crypto in your port? Well, I don't have a port. I only have a driveway. So I don't keep anything in my driveway. 10 to 15% spec play, says Aquaculture. He got cut off. No, I think I'm still here. Not financial advice. They must be buying over the counter now. Yes, and that, I think they've actually stopped that. I think they bought over the counter for a while from the miners. And that's all part of the market surveillance, and you can see it being done. I think there's probably not a lot of coins to buy over the counter anymore, and that's probably why the price is rising. If you want in now, you have to go and you have to buy from what they have. And the interesting thing is, in many exchanges, you can buy your coins, like Coinbase, and you can trade them, but you can't have them for 5, 6, 7 days. That tells me they don't have them. And that's why you see this volume. It's just like the gold and silver market. I can go out right now and buy 10 Bitcoin or 10 Litecoin, and I can trade them. Well, but I can't have them, which means I'm not trading anything. That's fractional reserve to me. The fact that you get it, you're not buying it. You're buying the right to have them send it to you. And then they say, well, now that you have the right for us to send it to you, you can sell it too. And they make trading fees on it. They're making trading fees on stuff they don't have. So, very, very interessant, as they say en français. Okay. Which one? The bubble. Eat bubble. I need a bubble. Everybody wants a bubble. I should get Mark to write us a bubble tune. Bubblicious. Once I heard CNN pump Bitcoin, I was out. The Wild West was over. Yeah, I think this is all still Wild West. It's just they're trying to use the Wild West analogy. They're trying to corral it. And they're trying to make it all regulated. All right. Well, everyone, I want to thank you for joining me this evening. I want to thank the new patrons and those donating money. That's very important. And those that are patronizing the Small Gold store. I am still delivering myself, although the line was very long today when I delivered the mugs. If you want to buy a classic or super classic mug through the website, those are the only two where I fulfill the order shipment. You'll get your mug faster. There are no two ways about it. I ship it 2-day priority mail insured. You will get it before Christmas. I don't know how long the wait line is over at the Small Gold store. Now there you're dealing. You got customer service. It's a full-on store. They handle the orders there, and you can order a lot of stuff. But if you want a one-off Small Gold game-changing classic or super classic mug, let me just show you what I'm talking about. We don't get a lot of new people. We get the same people, which is good. So you know what I'm talking about, so I don't have to explain myself 17 times. But for those of you who are new, when I say the classic or super classic mugs, I mean the red. Let me get you the picture of them. These are the mugs that I ship myself from Small Gold headquarters. And I pack them with a personal note, signed note, and they go out 2-day shipping. And they are, well, let me show you this. Let me get you the picture of it. All right, here we go. All right, so on the left is the Small Gold Game Changer Super Classic mug. Very sharp looking. And again, the one on the right, the Small Gold Classic mug, also extremely sharp looking. It just doesn't look as sharp in the picture. And that mug, I think, has got, it's a very attractive looking mug. And there's your Bitcoin and small Litecoin. Some couple people sent me Litecoin. They held up their phone to that Q code, and through their Loaf wallet, were able to send me Litecoin, and somebody even bought a mug through there. They DM'd me on Twitter, or you can email me and say, I want to buy my mug by Litecoin or Bitcoin, and you can do it that way. And there's the rest of your information, how you can support the show, but I want to thank you all for the support, for showing up each and every evening and with your comments. And there you go. So if you want your Small Gold Classic or Super Classic mug, you need to order that from the site. You can pay using PayPal, credit card, through PayPal, or you can send me an email or a direct message on Twitter and say you want to pay with Litecoin or Bitcoin, and then I will package that mug up directly for you, address it, send the letter, and bring it to the post office. They've got a special kiosk set up right now, so you can kind of do it yourself. And again, it'll be there in 2 days. Merci beaucoup, Tarian. Au revoir, madame. Au revoir, messieurs. Et bonne nuit.